Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a little boy named Jack. Jack loved listening to the sky in the evenings. While other children were busy playing games, Jack would sit with his small telescope, gaze up at the sky, and listen intently to the sounds of the stars and the moon. Jack's father was one of the wisest men in the village, and he would often tell him stories about the sky. "Every star in the sky has a story," his father would say. Jack would listen with great curiosity, trying to make sense of the sounds he heard from the sky. One evening, Jack took his telescope and went out to the garden. The sky was so clear that it seemed like the stars were waving at him. Jack focused his telescope on one of the brightest stars and began listening. After a while, he heard a delicate melody coming from the star, one he had never heard before. What could this sound be? Jack wondered. To hear the melody better, Jack lay down on the ground, closed his eyes, and concentrated deeply on the sounds. The melody was like something out of a fairy tale, as if the stars were singing. Following the melody, Jack began to imagine a story. Once upon a time, there was a star named Shining Star. Shining Star was the brightest in the sky, and everyone loved it. But Shining Star was different from the other stars. It didn't just shine, it also sang beautiful songs and entertained the other stars in the sky. As Jack thought about this story, he drifted off to sleep. In his dream, Shining Star appeared, smiling and approaching him. "Hello, Jack. I'm Shining Star, the brightest and happiest star in the sky. I've been eager to meet you," said Shining Star. Surprised, Jack responded, "Hello, Shining Star. It's such an honor to meet you. I love listening to your songs. Could you sing one for me?" Shining Star smiled kindly and began to sing. As Jack listened to the beautiful melody, he felt incredibly happy. The song was about friendship and love. Jack wanted to teach this song to all his friends. When Jack woke up with the morning sun, he smiled as he thought about how beautiful the sky was. He immediately ran to his friends and told them about Shining Star. "Last night I met Shining Star and listened to its songs. I'll teach you the songs too," he said excitedly. His friends listened eagerly to Jack's story. Jack sang Shining Star's song to them, and soon the children all began singing the song together. This became a new tradition in the village. Every night, the children would look up at the sky and sing Shining Star's song. Jack had come to understand how special it was to listen to the sky. Each night, he would hear a different star's melody and create new stories from them. This expanded his imagination and opened doors to different worlds. As the days passed, Jack's stories became well known throughout the village. Everyone eagerly awaited Jack's tales. Each night, he would make them happy by telling a new story. One night, as Jack was listening to the sky, he heard a different sound. This time, it was the whisper of the wind. What could this sound be, he wondered. It felt as though the wind was telling him a story. Following the sound, Jack began to imagine a new tale. Once upon a time, there was a fairy called Wind Fairy. The Wind Fairy would dance in the sky among the stars, making the sky even more beautiful. One day, the Wind Fairy met Shining Star and fell in love with it. Jack couldn't wait to share this new story with his friends. The next day, he excitedly told them the story of the Wind Fairy and Shining Star. His friends loved the story, and together they created new games based on it. From then on, Jack listened carefully to every sound from the sky and made up new stories from them. Each story made the world of Jack and his friends a bit more magical. The sky was no longer just a place filled with stars. It had become a source of endless stories. As the days and nights passed, Jack's stories became legendary in the village. Everyone was enchanted by the tales Jack told. Jack never stopped listening to the sky, and each night he discovered a new story. The sky became a constant source of inspiration for Jack and his friends, and Jack's stories were passed down from generation to generation. Through these stories, everyone discovered the power of imagination and the magic of the sky. And so, the tale of the boy who listened to the sky became a never-ending source of stories, teaching everyone in the village to see the sky with new eyes. The sky always offered them new hopes and dreams. And please don't forget to subscribe and like our videos.